Governorate. This comes as part of choosing Luxor Governorate to be named as the capital of the international tourism for 2016 by the United Nations World Tourism Organization last May, when Egypt was chairing the 103rd session held in Malaga, Spain, and under the title Tourism and Security Towards a Framework for Safe, Secure and Seamless Travel.
دي فرصة عظيمة إن احنا نوري العالم كله إزاي
This is a very good chance to show the whole world that Luxor is safe and Egypt is safe. People walk around in the streets with complete freedom and enjoy its Nile. As you can see, the participation is over any description. Thanks God that we have hosted this conference and we have regained people's confidence to come back. And soon I believe that we in the numbers of people that Egypt used to host one more time.
هنوصل بإذن الله نقدر نوصل لكل ما نصبو إليه من استعادة الحركة السياحية.
The Luxor Governorate has also hosted the 5th Global Summit on City Tourism under the title Cities and Local Culture for Global Travelers, after the United Nations World Tourism Organization has chosen Luxor to be named as the capital and to host this event. The 5th UNWTO Global Summit has discussed the tourism trend in the city, including sustainable development and innovation in the field of city tourism and cross-cultural behavior, and gathering will also discuss how the public and the private sector has contributed to the tourism development, cultural exchange between the nations, identity and cultural heritage, preservation of the countries.
At the end of my presentation, I launched for the first time in Luxor the Luxor Pass. It's one ticket that the tourist can buy for once for $100 and $50 for students, and it allows him to get a free entrance for all museums and archaeological during 5 days. And we are opening also for the first time Nefertari and the City First tombs with individual tickets, which cost 1,000 Egyptian pounds for each.
There was no really preparation because we were all ready. Luxor is a brand name. Luxor is one of the historical cities. We are developing the infrastructure from 2 years ago. We have a plan to put Luxor in its what is deserved as an international tourism and heritage city. That's two conferences we hosted here, and we have also another conference and a very full agenda for the next months. And we hope to complete it like this, and we gain our numbers again.
Attending the session were a big number of representatives from over 40 countries, including ministers and representatives of tourism ministry from all over the world. And of course, heading the session were Secretary General of the UNWTO, Dr. Talib al-Rifai, Minister of Tourism Yahya Rashid, where they have discussed the opportunities and the challenges facing the tourism sector. From the Luxor Temple, the 5th Global Summit on City Tourism has ended today with an amazing performance that amazed everybody here, sending the whole world a message of peace and telling everyone that Egypt is safe, secure and stable. Dina Hwaidak, Nile TV International.
Welcome back. And one of the most important events took place last week in Egypt was the inauguration of the 38th Cairo International Film Festival. This important event was attended by many superstars in Egypt and, of course, foreign stars from abroad. Many have participated with their movies, and this year's inauguration was different than the years before. So to shed more light on this important event, we are joined by our guest today, Mr. Mahmoud Al-Mahdi, film critic, and the Spanish actor Juan Charles. Hello and welcome to Nile Cruise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us. And to start with, Mahmoud, it has been a turbulent, period.
Yes.
For Egypt and specifically this industry. So, do you see some signs or marks of recovery in this edition, the 38th edition
yes,
of the Cairo?
A lot of them, actually. To tell you the truth, I'm not normally a very enthusiastic person about the Cairo Film Festival. I rarely ever went there to see screenings, but
that's good. We're starting the interview with lots of openness.
See, yeah.
So, yeah.
No, because he's a critic.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to say that.
I've promised a great deal of honesty in this interview. So going there, I didn't really know what to expect. I was there to watch the movies, to meet the stars and the directors and the filmmakers of the films that I was supposed to be discussing and interviewing. And I was surprised because the overall there was very exciting. You have a lot of young filmmakers, you have a lot of critics, you have a lot of stars, as you just mentioned, and it's a great deal of enlightenment, really, to be there among all those people watching those screenings. I met film critics there who were running from one screening to the other, summing up a total of 6 or 7 movies every day, and they are not even tired of it. Wow. So that was very refreshing, to say the least, and the overall atmosphere and the attendance there would give total proofs what you just mentioned. It is a very exciting time, and a great deal of recovery was expressed in this event.
But you usually don't, you didn't attend the previous versions?
Like 15 or 20 years ago, I went to 1 or 2 screenings, perhaps, and for reasons that I don't really want to mention. So yeah.
Yes, but that's very good. What you see, you like what you see.
I liked what I saw, and it gave me a little bit of regret, really, that I've been missing on all these experiences, and a lot of the fun, really, because see, this is part of the reputation that festivals, or film festivals in particular, take, that they're very sophisticated events attended by very sophisticated people, speaking a language that you don't really have to relate to in terms of fun and entertainment, but that was not true. There's
Mr.
a great
Mahmoud,
deal of entertainment
I'll
and
be
fun
back
in the
to you
movies.
to know the things that you don't want to say, but
Right.
I want to take it out from you, but I'll start with Joanne.
Hello.
Hello, Joanne, and welcome to Egypt.
Thank you.
Tell us more about your movie and the role you're playing in, and of course your experience in Egypt.
My experience here in Cairo has been amazing. I'm so happy to be here, and you all are treating me so well. So I have not any complaints about that. And my film is a Spanish film from Spain called The Exile, El Destierro in Spanish, and it's about 3 people who has to be in a spot of vigilance in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the mountains in Spain, back in the Civil War, Spanish Civil War. And there they have to like try to survive to many things that happen to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you were one of those 3?
Yeah, I'm one of the main characters. We're like
Yes.
3 main characters, and I'm one of them. My colleagues Monica and Kike back in Spain, they couldn't make it, and I came by myself to.
Yes. Interesting. Tell us a little bit about the experience itself, because you probably shot in the mountains.
Yeah, we shot in the mountains during the winter. It's quite cold in Spain. Otherwise, people think that it's hot, but it's not in Spain. The winter is so aggressive sometimes.
Yeah.
And we shoot in this place called Avila, next to Madrid, and it was so cold. So it was a nice but a really hard experience
Tough
to
experience.
shoot there.
Okay.
With all the snow and everything. It was hard because of that, and because we shoot in 4 parts the movie, because we needed the same place with snow, then without snow, and then with. So the shooting was divided in 4 parts, and it was hard as well because of that.
Mr. Mahmoud, of course, as a film critic and as a critic in general, the Cairo International Film Festival used to have a glamour before.
Yep.
Most of the superstars leave everything and go and participate in this important event.
Yes.
But this glamour shaded a little bit by time.
Yes,
We
I would
have
agree.
the Dubai Film Festival. Of course, it attracts most of the superstars from abroad and from, of course, the Arab actors and actresses. And we have the Carthage Film Festival also. It's one of the attracting destinations now. What happened to the Cairo International Film Festival?
What happened to Cairo International Film Festival? I wouldn't know the perfect answer for that. Maybe because, like you just mentioned, there's a great deal of trouble. There was a great deal of trouble going on, a lot of turbulence over the past years. And I believe from an organization standpoint, we started to I don't know if that's relevant actually, but to treat it like we treat the month of Ramadan when it comes to drama, you know, we always discover that it's about to start and we have to rush everything in order to get it done and be present for it. And I believe this might be part of the reason why the Cairo International Film Festival, like most events, it reaches until before the last few weeks or months, and we're not even sure that it's going to happen. So I would believe that restoring in the event being a consistent one that takes place all the time in pre-scheduled spots and always respects that, will get it back in the spots of the glamour and the importance that you just mentioned. However, I would say that it also benefited the festival a little bit, that it became an attraction for young movie makers, aspiring movie makers and aspiring stars. You see, I actually had the honor of managing 4 Q&A sessions for 4 different movies, or were the first full feature for the filmmakers as directors and maybe as writers as well. And that puts the entire experience a little bit reachable for the young filmmakers from Egypt. And I witnessed some of the most interesting questions out there, like asking the filmmakers what kind of cameras did they use, what kind of film reels did they use, what was the inspiration for certain parts. I would say that a lot of them went home with a lot of inspiration, a lot of encouragement to go ahead and have their own experience. So even though the glamour might have been a little bit absent, but it was replaced with things that are much more important for filmmakers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's more or less like an incubation for learning for the upcoming period for a lot of people.
Yes, of course, for the greater deal, and still there were a lot of movie fans who were there for fun and they found some.
Yes.
But usually the movies of that participates in any festival are, we cannot understand them as an audience. There's something missing in the story. I don't know why.
That's the deal with the festival movies, you know. That's a label, more or less. Some of them are sophisticated, some of them are a little bit hard to follow. And I would take the side of the audience on. I say this is a missing factor. It's not really a heavier weight given to the sophistication or to the experience. It is a missing weight from the thing that always drives us to go watch movies, which is entertainment and fun. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to be with Juan on this particular one because that was a fun movie. And I'm not saying a fun movie that you should be laughing while watching, because this is something that we always mix up.
But is his movie sophisticated or it's understandable?
It has a great deal of sophistication, of course. It is one of those movies that you only have a limited number of cast members, very limited locations, even though they are open location, gives you a great feeling of loneliness and exposure at the same time, and that's a lot. But when we speak about the story, the narrative, the coherence of the events, it's all there. There's nothing hard to understand. There's nothing difficult to understand when it comes to this particular movie. On some movies, yes, a lot of things were not coherent in terms of storytelling, but that was not a technical mistake, that was intentional. Some of them were experimental projects, some of them were surreal projects, and those have their own audience and those have their own audience.
Okay. So we took your opinion about the movie. We need to take Guan's opinion about the festival. How well did you enjoy or experience this festival so far?
I'm having a great time here in Cairo, and the festival, I think it's great. I'm so happy to be here. And according to what he was saying, I know that sometimes maybe there are ways of telling stories in cinema, depending on the country or depending on the culture or something like that, but that's cinema. That's what cinema, we don't have to tell the same story in the same way because the world is so eclectic. So maybe back in Spain we explain something in a way, and then in China they do it in another way, but they try to explain the same, but with different manners, you know what I mean? So I think that's the interesting thing about the International Film Festival, that you get to see movies
part of your
from abroad.
Part of your experience, joining this festival is trying to learn from others too. So, what were the parts that you gained from this festival?
You're always learning things when you get to know other people from abroad and directors or other actors from. Even I met a girl from Sweden, Marlene. She's a great actress, and we were sharing our thoughts about the festival, and we were thinking that it's a really nice place to share cinema here in Cairo, because it's vibrant city, and it has like all the ingredients that you need to have like a huge festival. And I think you do. Maybe the glamour thing we were talking about had shaded away a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think it's all about the glamour things. I think the cinema has more things to say apart from the glamour.
Joan, how long you've been acting?
For 15 years. I'm 30 years old, so
15 years.
half
And
of my
you
life.
participated before in any festivals, or this is the first time?
No, I've been to India, I've been to Canada, I've been to France, I've been to many festivals already with this movie and with other movies. But when I had the chance to go to a place with more or less a different culture. A different way of living, or some, I don't know how to express that. I always want to go, because that's what I was saying before. That's when you learn things, and with the cinema it happens the same. When I see a Chinese movie or something like that, I like watching American and Spanish movies, obviously, but I like watching movies from abroad because I think that's when you get to learn things.
Interesting. So, Mahmoud Mahdi, as a film critic, what was, the key takeaways in terms of the Egyptian film industry today? What are the things or the highlights of what you have observed as a critic?
Of the particular movies that participated in the festival?
Yes.
Or general production?
We're still with the festival. We'll go also to that.
Okay, yeah. That would give us a larger base to discuss, yeah. When we're speaking about the Egyptian movies that participated, we still get the same sense of rush, of last moment kind of saving the day, kind of. Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing the films that participated as the kind of candidates or the kind of representation that I would have loved for us to have. I didn't see a lot of people discussing the Egyptian movies that were participating there, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to search for anything positive to see on that experience, so I'm keeping going on, and it's all negative, so stop me here.
Okay.
No, we need to hear some negativity, it's okay.
It's criticism, so let's be constructive
criticism,
on that.
Yeah. This is your job, you're a critic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to believe so, yes. So,
Go ahead.
Not a lot of positive things to say about the Egyptian representation, as I'm telling you. A lot of foreign movies, even as I'm telling you, experiences. One of the polished movies that I discussed was actually sort of a graduation project for one of the filmmakers. It wasn't a great movie per se, but it did draw some attention, and it did spark some discussions. A lot of areas that I would say that Egyptian movies fail to achieve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Joan, I want to ask you a question. How does it like to be an actor? How do you find yourself?
It's hard to be an actor, actually, because sometimes you have a lot of job and then you don't have anything. So, I don't know. You're an actor if you really love acting, and all these things, the glamour things, and the festival, and the festivals and the premieres are part of the job, but it's not all the job. So you have to try your best to be, or to do the best that you can give being an actor. So I don't know, it's not that easy. It's not all about the fame and the pictures, and no, it's about working hard and try to do your best all the time.
Right. Juan Carlos and Mahmoud Mahdi would like to thank you very much for being here. It has been a pleasure talking to you, and best of luck.
Thank you for having us.
Let's move now to this break and returning back with more statements.
Different films and its components were displayed through the Cairo International Film Festival, such as Irreplaceable from France, Anna's Life from Georgia, and The Visitor from Spain.
The music, the composer of the music is the brother of the director, which is a very important musician in Spain, and he did a really good job with the music, and he won awards with the music. So we're really happy with the music, and because it's another character in the movie. So it's a really nice music, yeah.
The Exile film that was produced 2015 based on the background of political and social aspects at the time of fascism. Also, the film focused on the humanitarian aspect more than any other aspects in the society.
The movie is quite interesting, really, even though it only has like three main characters, and those are the people that you spend most of the time with during the movie, but it's never a dull moment. You can sense a great deal of complication in the way they deal with the situation that they have at hand. You do get a glimpse at their background and what makes their story even more complicated and even more special. The movie is not really that long. It respects that aspects in its production. It's an independent production, so yeah, I liked it a lot, and it was a very interesting experience.
And the democracy. So there's a wound there, and most of the people don't want to know.
A seminar was held after the screening of the film for discussion with the audience. Also, the musical soundtracks of the film had a great admiration from both the audience and critics.